Okay, so this Saturday,
Yeah.
I mean, you've obviously got a pretty tasty opponent lined up. I'm not going to lie to you, I don't actually know that much about him. Now, I'm taking that you've been watching tape, you've been getting acquainted with him by watching film. But what have you learned so far? Just tell me a little bit about your opponent.
What I've learned is he's coming out of retirement after 7 years, so he's a total different man. So I'm sure he's got the same patterns from 7 years ago. He's got some new tools, which I'm sure will come out on Saturday. But the reality is you cannot be away from 7 years and come back and be the same. So either he's going to be super good or super bad. So,
now, given the caliber of athletes that KSW usually put on, there's a reason why they actually match them up. It's obviously a credible challenge for you, given your caliber. But when you look across your weight division, when you look at the possible challenges out there, not looking past your opponent on Saturday, but are there any credible challenges out there that you can say to yourself, you know what? Let's get this one to bed first, but I'd like to consider this person moving forward.
you know, I usually take one fight at a time because I don't want to get caught up in thinking about something else while I have a challenge ahead of me. So, after the fight, depending on how I feel and the movement and everything, I'll go from there. But right now, my focus is on Saturday, this guy in front of me, and then take care of business.
I mean, talking about taking care of business, this Saturday is going to be a momentous occasion, not just for KSW, but surely for yourself. We're talking about 55,000 people. You are actually going to be in front of this. What does that mean to you? Does that resonate at all? Does that have any effect on you as a person or even your fight?
You know what? I always try to find out what it'll do to me. At the end of the day, you're in the cage. There's only three of you: the guy in front of you, the referee, and yourself. There can be a million people. It can be a bar fight, but the guy in front of you is the only guy that matters. As far as the million people watching, if there's a bunch of single ladies out there, hey, that's all it is.
But I know I touched on this earlier, but we're now in better lighting. When you look back on the wars that you've had, the light heavyweight battles you've had, are there any notable fights that you can actually look at and say,
I mean, to me, every single fight is a war. But most people remember the Nigeria and the Arena fight. Those two fights was one of my biggest fights. But every single one, it's always exciting. It gets addicting. That's why I was still here fighting, because you're like, then 2 days later, you're like, man, I want to fight again. You get that.
Now you've fought for Pride, and you've fought for a couple of times for KSW already. How do the two compare to each other? Because obviously KSW based their model on Pride.
You know what? The production is pretty much identical. They always try to do big things, and the entrance is always crazy. So I think they're getting there.
They're similar.
They're similar.
And do you like fighting on shows like this as opposed to like a regular type show? Like, do you like the production value? Do you like the razzmatazz?
Like I say, at the end of the day, is your opponent getting paid and the fans. So it can be. I mean, it makes you look better with a good production. Makes everything more exciting and everything, which is good for us. So it makes us look better and stuff. But still, you're gonna get punched in the face by the guy in front of you. You're gonna get. It's just good for the show. Hey, look at that show, man! I want to be that guy. It just makes us look good, and girls like us more.
I know I touched on it earlier, but you are, to certain people, a legend. You've been around for quite a while.
Yeah.
What are the differences from when you entered the sport that no longer exists now, that basically shapes your outlook on the sport? What I'm saying is, the sport is totally different to how it was when you actually entered it. How do you feel about that? Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Just talk me through some of the changes, firstly, but whether it's good or it's bad now that it's actually evolved into where you are right now.
It's actually better, because back in the days, that guy's jiu-jitsu, so all he wants to do is get on his back and do whatever. Or that guy is a striker. As soon as you took him down, it's the end. But nowadays, everybody knows a little bit of everything. So when you find a guy, it's like you got to work on pretty much everything, which, with the evolution of the sport, it's as if you start a new sport all the time, as opposed to same thing every day and every day. So you got to keep improving to catch up, otherwise you're going to be in the past.
I mean, looking forward though, not that I'm trying to give you your P45 already, because you're still a young man, but do you have an exit strategy for the sport? I mean, are you working on things like gyms? Have you considered management? What's your exit strategy? What does it look like to you?
I'm gonna be a porn star, so that's my exit strategy.
So you got some roles lined up in porn, right?
What do you want to know? That's what I'm gonna do, you know.
Okay.
So if you're interested,
So in terms of like timetable though,
you know,
are you going to be like Hoist Gracie, still fighting at his age?
Here's what I usually tell people: the day I wake up in the morning and go, man, I don't want to go to the gym. That's when I go, oh, okay. You know, I still get excited waking up in the morning, getting, working out, thinking about the moves I've seen, the move I want to try. So once that's gone, I mean, it's like, what are you doing? Because it's going to be boring. You can be on the job and thinking about something else while you're on the job, It's like, so once it gets to that point, it can be today, it can be tomorrow, it can be whenever. So I usually try not to set a date or anything. I just say, okay, here's what needs to happen for me to do this. It can happen today or tomorrow, and because you've had guys who retire super early and then they come back. Just talking about retire early, just like the guy I'm fighting tomorrow on Saturday. He retired now. Man, I missed this. I want to come back. It's addicting. So I want to make sure when I walk away, I stay with my porn career and come back.